Captain Jiho Kim stood at the observation deck of Galactic Trade Station Nexus 7, watching alien ships come and go through the massive docking ports. The station was bigger than any city he had ever seen on Earth. Ships the size of mountains moved slowly through space, their hulls covered in strange markings and glowing lights. 3 months had passed since humanity made first contact with the Galactic Commerce Union. 3 months since Earth learned they were not alone in the universe. Now Jiho was here with 12 human ships, trying to prove that humanity deserved a place among the stars. The human fleet looked small next to the alien vessels. Each human ship was only about 200 meters long, with simple gray hulls and basic weapon systems. They sat in the outer docking bays, far from the main traffic areas where the important ships docked. "Captain, the Valorian ambassador wants to see you," said Dr. Mina Park, walking up beside him. She was the team's expert on alien biology and had spent weeks studying the different species they met here. Jiho nodded and followed her to the meeting room. Ambassador Thexamore was waiting for them, his blue skin gleaming under the station lights. The Valorian was twice as tall as any human, with 4 arms and eyes that glowed yellow. Behind him stood 2 guards in heavy armor. "Ah, the human captain," Thexamore said in a voice that sounded like grinding metal. "I wanted to see the leader of the tiny fleet everyone is talking about." "Thank you for meeting with us," Jiho replied politely. He had learned to stay calm when dealing with aliens who looked down on humans. Thexamore laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Your ships are quite amusing. My personal transport vessel is larger than your biggest warship. Tell me, what exactly do you humans plan to do with such toys?" Dr. Park stepped forward. "Our ships may be smaller, but they are built for efficiency and speed. We believe quality matters more than size." Quality? The ambassador's 4 arms, spread wide in what Jiho had learned was a Valorian gesture of disbelief. "Child, I have seen your technology reports. Your weapons are centuries behind ours. Your shields can barely stop space dust. Your engines produce less power than our emergency backup systems." Engineer Daeho Lee, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "We may have different approaches to ship design. Humans prefer to build practical vessels that can handle many different tasks." Thexamore's yellow eyes focused on Daeho. "Practical? Is that what you call ships that would lose a fight to our cargo haulers?" He turned to his guards. "Show them the battle records from last week." One guard activated a holographic display. It showed massive Valorian warships, each one over a kilometer long, covered in weapon turrets and armor plating. The ships moved through space like flying fortresses, their guns blazing as they destroyed smaller vessels. "Each of these ships carries more firepower than your entire fleet," Thexamore said proudly. "This is what real military power looks like, not the collection of scrap metal you humans brought here." Jiho watched the display without changing his expression. "Impressive ships," he said simply. "At least you admit it," the ambassador replied. "Perhaps there is hope for your species after all. You seem more reasonable than most humans I have met." Dr. Park raised an eyebrow. "You have met other humans?" "Oh, yes," Thexamore waved one hand dismissively. "Several human delegations have come through here, all with the same small ships, all making the same claims about efficiency and quality. The Galactic Council has grown tired of hearing it." Daeho looked surprised. "Other human groups have been here?" "Many worlds send representatives when they first join the galactic community," Thexamore explained. "Most prove themselves quickly or disappear back to their home systems. Humans seem determined to keep trying, despite having nothing to offer." The ambassador walked to the window and pointed at the docking bays. "You see those massive vessels? Those belong to the Zilithian Trading Corporation. Each one can carry enough goods to supply an entire planet for a year. And those ships with the golden hulls? Those are Corvani exploration vessels. They have traveled to the edge of the galaxy and back." He turned back to the humans. Your ships look like escape pods next to real starships. The other species here have already started making jokes about the human fleet. Some are calling it the most entertaining thing to happen at this station in years. Jiho felt his crew tense behind him, but he kept his voice steady. What must we do to prove ourselves worthy of better treatment? Thexmore's laugh was even louder this time. Prove yourselves? Captain, your entire military could not defeat a single Valorian patrol ship. Your technology is so primitive that our scientists refuse to waste time studying it. The only question is whether humans will accept their place as a servant species or disappear like so many others before them. Dr. Park stepped forward, her face red with anger. We are not here to become anyone's servants. Humanity has survived wars, diseases, and disasters that would have destroyed weaker species. We learn, we adapt, and we never give up. Brave words, the ambassador replied. But words mean nothing in space. Only power matters here. Only strength earns respect. He gestured toward his guards, who began moving toward the door. I suggest you humans find something useful to trade or provide some service the galaxy needs. Your weapons and ships are useless, but perhaps you can mine asteroids or transport cargo for the real civilizations. As the Valorians left, Deho turned to Jiho. Captain, should we show them what our ships can really do? Jiho shook his head slowly. Not yet. Let them think what they want to think. Sometimes it is better to be underestimated. Dr. Park looked, confused. But they are treating us like primitives. The whole galaxy thinks we are weak. Good, Jiho replied, watching the alien ships through the window. When the time comes, that will be their mistake, not ours. Lieutenant Boyoung Jang's voice came through their communicators. Captain, the Galactic Council has assigned us docking space in Section 12. That is where they put the species classified as minimal threat level. Jiho smiled for the first time that day. Perfect. Tell the crew to maintain standard operations. And Boyoung, make sure all our communication channels stay secure. Understood, sir. As they walked back toward their ships, Dr. Park asked quietly, Captain, are we really going to let them treat us this way? Jiho looked at the 12 human vessels sitting in the outer docking bays, looking small and harmless among the giant alien ships. For now, yes. But remember what we learned in basic training. The most dangerous weapon is the one your enemy does not see coming. Engineer Lee grinned. They think our ships are toys. Let them think that, Jiho replied. When they need us, they will learn the truth about human engineering. 1 month later, emergency alarms rang throughout Galactic Trade Station Nexus 7. Captain Jiho Kim was in the human quarters when Lieutenant Boyoung Jang burst through the door, her face pale with worry. Captain, you need to hear this, she said, activating her communication device. Pirates have attacked the Kepler mining system. 3 Valorian patrol squadrons are gone. Jiho listened to the distress signals coming through the speakers. Screams, weapon fire, and the sound of ships exploding filled the room. Then a cold voice cut through the chaos. This is Captain Vexitar of the Crimson Nebula Raiders. The Kepler system now belongs to us. Any ship that enters our territory will pay tribute or be destroyed. We have over 60 warships and the weapons of every patrol fleet we have defeated. The transmission ended, leaving silence in the room. Dr. Mina Park looked shocked. 60 ships? That is more than most system defense fleets. And they destroyed 3 Valorian squadrons, added Engineer Deho Lee. Those were supposed to be some of the best military units in the galaxy. Boyoung played another message. This one came from the Galactic Council Emergency Network. All member species are requested to send military assistance to deal with the pirate threat in the Kepler system. This is a Class 1 military emergency requiring immediate response. Within hours, the station was buzzing with activity. Military commanders from different species held emergency meetings. Valorian war chiefs argued with Zilithian fleet admirals. Corvani representatives sat in their golden chairs, looking bored by the whole situation. Jiho found himself in the main council chamber, surrounded by aliens who towers over him. Commander Sua Cho of the Valorian Navy was speaking loudly to the assembled group. "The pirates have stolen our military technology," she said, her blue skin darker with anger. "They are using captured Valorian ships against us. This is a direct insult to our honor." Admiral Kothan of the Zilithian Trading Corporation stood up. "Your honor means nothing if our trade routes are destroyed. These pirates are attacking merchant vessels. They must be stopped before they ruin galactic commerce." "The Corvani Empire has little interest in this matter," said Elder Morath, speaking from his floating chair. "Pirates come and go. They always destroy themselves eventually." Commander Cho turned toward the Corvani representative. "Easy words from a species that hides behind ancient technology. When did the Corvani last fight a real battle?" "When did the Valorians last win one?" Elder Morath replied calmly. The argument continued for hours. Each species had different ideas about how to handle the pirates. The Valorians wanted a direct assault with their biggest warships. The Zilithians preferred to use smaller, faster vessels to disrupt pirate supply lines. The Corvani suggested waiting for the pirates to make a mistake. Finally, Council Chairman Nexith called for order. "We need a unified response. However, our military forces cannot coordinate effectively. We have too many different command structures and battle tactics." "Then we fight separately," Commander Cho declared. "Valorian ships will lead the attack. The other species can provide support if they wish." Admiral Kothan shook his head. "Zilithian vessels will not follow Valorian commands. We have our own strategic objectives." "The Corvani will observe," Elder Morath said simply. "We may intervene if the situation becomes truly dangerous." Chairman Nexith looked frustrated. "This is exactly the problem. We cannot work together because each species insists on maintaining independence." That was when Jiho stood up. Every alien head in the room turned toward him, as if they had forgotten humans were present. "The human fleet volunteers for reconnaissance duty," he said clearly. "We can scout the pirate positions and report back to your main forces." The room fell silent for a moment. Then Commander Cho began laughing. Her laughter was joined by several other Valorian officers. "The human toy fleet wants to scout pirates," she said between laughs. "Captain, your ships would not survive 5 minutes against real pirates. You would serve better as bait than scouts." Admiral Kothan looked more polite, but equally dismissive. "Captain Kim, we appreciate the offer, but reconnaissance requires fast, well-armed vessels. Your ships are too slow and too weak for such dangerous work. Perhaps the humans could carry supplies," suggested one of the Valorian officers, "or transport wounded soldiers away from battle zones." Jiho remained calm despite the insults. "Our ships may be small, but we know how to avoid detection. Sometimes the best scouts are the ones nobody pays attention to." Elder Morath spoke for the first time in an hour. "The human makes a valid point. Small vessels can gather information without attracting enemy attention." Commander Cho waved her hand dismissively. "If the humans want to waste their lives on a suicide mission, let them. We need every ship we can get, even useless ones." Chairman Nexith looked relieved to have any solution. "Very well. The human fleet will conduct reconnaissance operations in the outer Kepler system. The main battle groups will prepare for assault once we have intelligence on pirate positions." As the meeting ended, the alien commanders continued their arguments about tactics and command structure. Jiho quietly left the chamber with his crew. "Captain," Dr. Park said once they were alone, "are you sure about this? 60 pirate ships is a lot of firepower." "And they have captured military vessels," added Deho. "This Captain Vextar sounds like he knows what he is doing." Jiho nodded thoughtfully. "That is exactly why this is the perfect mission for us. Everyone expects the humans to fail, so nobody will be watching us too carefully." Lieutenant Boyong looked worried. "But what if we actually encounter the pirates? Our weapons are not designed for ship-to-ship combat." Who says our weapons are not designed for combat? Jiho replied with a small smile. We just never told anyone what they are actually designed for. Back in the human quarters, the 12 ship captains gathered for a private briefing. Jiho stood at the front of the room, looking at each officer carefully. Listen closely, he began. The aliens think this is a suicide mission. They expect us to gather basic information and then run away or get destroyed. That gives us an advantage they do not understand. Commander Hyun-woo Nam, the fleet's tactical officer, leaned forward. What kind of advantage, sir? The advantage of low expectations, Jiho replied. When everyone thinks you are weak, they stop watching what you actually do. Dr. Kang, are the special sensor packages ready? Dr. Suman Kang nodded. All disguised as standard scanning equipment. The aliens will think we are using primitive sensors. Good. And the communication network? Fully encrypted and hidden within normal ship operations, Lieutenant Boyoung reported. Even if they monitor our signals, they will just see routine maintenance chatter. Engineer Yuna Oh raised her hand. Captain, when do we reveal our real capabilities? Jiho looked out the window at the alien fleets preparing for battle. Massive warships move through space like floating cities, their weapons gleaming in the starlight. When the time is right, he said quietly. For now, let them think we are just 12 small ships with brave but foolish crews. Let them focus on their own plans and arguments. Commander Woo Jin-bae, leader of the 2nd Squadron, smiled grimly. And while they argue about who gets to be in charge, we do the real work. Exactly, Jiho replied. Remember, the best victories are won before the enemy realizes they are in a fight. As the human fleet prepared to depart for the Kepler system, the alien forces continued their political battles. Nobody paid attention to the 12 small ships leaving the outer docking bays. Nobody wondered why such primitive vessels needed so many sensor packages. Nobody asked why the human crews seemed so confident about their mission. In the vastness of space, the human fleet looked like a small group of metal dots, hardly worth noticing next to the massive alien warships following behind them. That was exactly what Captain Jiho Kim wanted them to think. The Kepler system looked peaceful from a distance. 3 planets orbited a yellow star, with asteroid fields scattered between them like floating islands of rock and ice. Mining stations dotted the larger asteroids, their lights dim and lifeless, now that the pirates controlled the area. Captain Jiho Kim studied the tactical display on his ship's bridge. Red dots marked the locations where Valorian patrol ships had been destroyed. Wreckage floated in space, twisted metal that had once been proud warships. 12 pirate vessels detected near the 3rd planet, reported Lieutenant Boyoung Jang from her communication station. They appear to be using it as a base of operations. And the main fleet? Asked Jiho. Spread throughout the asteroid fields. I count at least 40 more ships, but they keep moving. Captain Vextar is smart. He is not keeping his forces in one place where they can be easily targeted. Commander Hyun-woo Nam looked up from his tactical board. Sir, the alien fleets are requesting our position reports. They want to know where we are deploying. Jiho smiled slightly. Tell them we are spreading out to cover maximum area. Standard reconnaissance procedure. What he did not tell the alien commanders was that the human fleet was following a very different plan. Instead of staying together in a tight formation, the 12 ships were moving to carefully chosen positions throughout the entire system. Dr. Suman Kang's ship took position near the outer asteroid belt, where her advanced sensors could monitor long-range communications. Captain Jin-Hwan Park positioned his vessel near an abandoned mining station, using the metal structures to hide his ship's energy signature. Engineer Yuna Oh's ship drifted near a cluster of ice asteroids, looking like just another piece of space debris. Commander Woo Jin-bae took his squadron deeper into the system, following paths that seemed random but were actually calculated to provide perfect coverage of all major shipping lanes. The aliens are asking why we are spreading so far apart, Boyoung reported. Commander Cho says we are making ourselves easy targets for the pirates. Let her think that, Jiho replied. How are our special deployments going? Chief Engineer Yoonji Lim answered from the engine room. All sensor packages deployed, Captain. The aliens think we are dropping standard scanning buoys to help with reconnaissance. Jiho nodded. Each sensor buoy looked like a simple piece of human technology, the kind of basic equipment that alien observers would expect from a primitive species. But hidden inside each one was sophisticated hardware that Earth's best engineers had spent years developing. The buoys linked together to form an invisible network throughout the Kepler system. They could detect ship movements, monitor communications, and even jam enemy sensors when activated. Most importantly, they were completely undetectable to alien technology because they used principles that other species had never discovered. Dr. Kang, what are you picking up from the pirate communications? Jiho asked. Dr. Kang's voice came through the secure channel. Captain, these pirates are more organized than the aliens realize. Vexitar has them operating in coordinated groups, with backup plans for every situation. He is also using captured alien military codes, which is how he ambushed those Valorian patrols. Any information about their total numbers? At least 60 ships, just like the original reports. But, Captain, some of these vessels are heavily modified. Vexitar has been upgrading captured ships with weapons and armor from multiple species. These are not ordinary pirates. Engineer Yuna's voice joined the conversation. Captain, I am seeing some interesting energy readings from the pirate base near the third planet. They have set up some kind of shield generator using salvaged alien technology. Jiho processed this information while watching his tactical display. The alien fleets were still arguing about attack plans, moving slowly toward the system while their commanders debated strategy over open communication channels. Boyoung, are the aliens still broadcasting their plans in clear language? He asked. Yes, sir. The Valorians insist on using their traditional battle codes, but the Zilithians refuse to learn them. The Corvani are not sharing their tactical information at all. None of them are using proper communication security. Which means the pirates can hear everything they are planning, Dr. Park observed from her position near the second planet. Exactly, Jiho replied. Vextar knows exactly when they are coming and what they plan to do. No wonder he defeated 3 patrol squadrons so easily. Commander Nam looked concerned. Sir, should we warn the alien fleets about their communication security? Jiho considered this for a moment. Not yet. Let them make their mistakes. We will learn more by watching how the pirates respond to predictable enemy tactics. Hours passed, as the human ships quietly took their positions throughout the system. To outside observers, they looked like they were conducting routine reconnaissance, scanning asteroids and checking for signs of pirate activity. Meanwhile, Engineer Yuna had moved her ship close enough to the pirate base to get detailed scans of their defenses. Captain, the shield generator is improvised but effective. It is using power cores from at least 3 different alien species. Vextar has some talented engineers working for him. Or he is forcing captured alien engineers to work for him, Dr. Park suggested grimly. Either way, he has turned that mining station into a fortress, Yuna continued. Standard weapons will not penetrate those shields easily. Commander Bay's voice came through from the inner system. Captain, I have eyes on the main pirate fleet. 43 ships confirmed, and they are definitely using captured military vessels. I count at least 12 former Valorian patrol ships, 8 Zilithian cruisers, and several vessels I do not recognize. Unknown designs? Jiho asked with interest. Yes, sir. The configuration suggests they might be from species that are not part of the Galactic Commerce Union. Vextar may have been raiding beyond the borders of known space. This was troubling news. If the pirates had access to foreign military technology, they might be even more dangerous than the aliens realized. Dr. Kang, are you detecting any unusual energy signatures from those unknown ships? Analyzing now, Captain, she replied. After a few minutes, her voice returned with concern. Sir, some of these vessels are using weapon systems I have never seen before. The energy patterns do not match any known alien technology in our databases. Weapons from outside the galaxy? Engineer Lim suggested. Possibly. Or weapons from species that were destroyed before joining the galactic community, Dr. Kang answered. Either way, this makes the pirates much more dangerous than anyone realizes. Jiho made a decision. All ships, continue standard reconnaissance procedures. Do not reveal our advanced capabilities yet. Boyoung, send a routine report to the alien. Commanders, tell them we have confirmed pirate presence and are continuing to gather intelligence. What should we tell them about the shield generator and the unknown weapons? She asked. Nothing. Let them discover those surprises for themselves. Lieutenant Boyoung looked puzzled. Sir, should we not warn them? Those alien fleets are going into a trap. Jiho watched the tactical display as the massive alien fleets approached the system, their ships arranged in traditional battle formations that had not changed in centuries. The aliens have spent months telling us that humans are too primitive to understand real warfare, he said quietly. They laughed at our ships and dismissed our capabilities. Now, they can prove how superior their tactics are against a real enemy. Commander Nam understood immediately. And while they fight the pirates using predictable strategies, we gather real intelligence about how both sides actually fight. Exactly. We learn from their mistakes and successes. When the time comes for humans to act, we will know exactly what we are facing. Dr. Park's voice came through the communicator. Captain, the alien fleets are requesting final position reports before they begin their attack. Tell them we are maintaining reconnaissance positions and will provide intelligence support as needed, Jiho replied, and remind them that our orders are to stay out of the main battle. As the human ships settled into their carefully chosen positions, the invisible sensor network activated completely. Every pirate movement, every communication, every energy signature was now being monitored and recorded. The alien fleets were 3 hours away from battle, still arguing about tactics and command authority. Captain Vextar was preparing his trap, confident that he could defeat another group of disorganized alien forces. Neither side realized that 12 small human ships had turned the entire Kepler system into the most sophisticated intelligence. Gathering operation in galactic history. Captain Jiho Kim looked at his crew and smiled. Now we wait and learn. When this battle is over, we will know more about both sides than they know about themselves. The battle began exactly as Captain Jiho Kim had expected. The alien fleets attacked in 3 separate groups, each following their own tactical doctrine without coordinating with the others. Commander Sua Cho led the Valorian warships in a direct assault toward the 3rd planet, where the pirates had their main base. The massive blue ships moved in a tight formation, their weapons charging for a frontal attack. It was brave, impressive, and completely predictable. Admiral Kothan's Zalithian vessels took a different approach, spreading out to attack the pirate ships, hiding in the asteroid fields. The fast silver ships darted between the floating rocks, trying to outmaneuver their enemies. Their tactics were clever but too complicated for the current situation. The Corvani sent only 3 golden ships, which moved slowly toward the center of the system without revealing their intentions. Elder Morath's forces seemed more interested in observing than fighting. Just as we predicted, said Commander Hyunwoo Nam from his position at the tactical station. 3 different battle plans with no coordination between them. Captain Jiho watched the tactical display from his command chair. Red dots representing pirate ships were moving into position to exploit the alien force's lack of unity. Boyoung, what are the pirates saying on their communication channels? Lieutenant Boyoung Jang smiled grimly. Captain Vextar is laughing. He says this will be easier than the last 3 battles. The pirates are moving to surround each alien group separately. Doctor: Kang, are our sensor networks recording everything? Every weapon discharge, every tactical maneuver, every communication signal, Dr. Suman Kang confirmed from her ship near the outer asteroids. We are getting detailed information about alien and pirate combat capabilities. The first clash came when the Valorian ships reached the pirate base near the 3rd planet. Commander Cho's forces opened fire with their massive energy cannons, expecting to overwhelm the enemy with superior firepower. Instead, their shots hit the improvised shield generator that Engineer Yuna had detected earlier. The stolen alien technology absorbed most of the damage, while hidden pirate ships attacked the Valorian formation from 3 directions. The Valorians are in trouble, reported Commander Wu Jin Bei from his position in the inner system. They expected the pirates to fight them head-on, but Vextar is using hit-and-run tactics with superior numbers. 2 Valorian ships exploded in brilliant flashes of light. The remaining vessels tried to retreat, but pirate ships surrounded them on all sides. Commander Cho's voice came through the communication channels, calling for help from the other alien fleets. The Zilithians are too far away to assist, observed Dr. Park from her position near the 2nd planet, and they are having their own problems. Admiral Kothan's ships had found pirate vessels hiding among the asteroids, but the enemy was using the floating rocks as cover. Every time a Zilithian ship tried to attack, pirates would disappear behind an asteroid and pop up somewhere else. Worse, some of the pirate ships were using those unknown weapons that Dr. Kang had detected. Strange energy beams cut through Zilithian armor like it was made of paper. Those foreign weapons are devastating, Dr. Kang reported. The energy patterns suggest they were designed specifically to penetrate standard galactic military defenses. Which means Vexitar has been planning this for a long time, Jiho replied. He has been collecting weapons and ships from multiple sources to create the perfect pirate fleet. The battle continued for 2 hours. The alien forces fought bravely, but their lack of coordination was costing them dearly. Valorian ships were designed for direct confrontation, not the mobile warfare that pirates preferred. Zilithian vessels were fast but not heavily armed enough for sustained combat. The Corvani ships remained mysteriously inactive, watching the battle without participating. "Sir," said Chief Engineer Yunji Lim from the engine room, "the alien fleets are requesting assistance. They want us to provide reconnaissance data to help them coordinate their attacks." Jiho considered this request. The human fleet had been gathering intelligence for hours, and their sensor network had complete tactical awareness of the entire battle. They could easily provide the information that would turn the tide in favor of the alien forces. "Captain," Dr. Park's voice came. "Through the communicator, we could save a lot of alien lives by sharing our data." "I know," Jiho replied quietly. "But look at what we have learned by watching them fight. The aliens rely on individual ship power instead of coordination. The pirates use stolen technology but lack discipline. Neither side understands the weaknesses." "We have identified." Commander Nam looked up from his tactical display. "Sir, the Valorian fleet is down to half strength. If we do not act soon, they might be completely destroyed." That was when Captain Vextar made his mistake. Confident that victory was within reach, he ordered all his ships to converge on the remaining alien forces for a final devastating attack. "All pirate vessels are moving to the center of the system," reported Commander Bay. "Vexitar wants to finish this battle quickly." "Perfect," Jiho said, standing up from his command chair. "He has just brought his entire fleet into the most heavily monitored area of space in galactic history. Boyoung, activate all communication networks. I want to speak to every human ship simultaneously." "All ships standing by, Captain." Jiho took a deep breath. For months, the human fleet had been dismissed as primitive and useless. The aliens had laughed at their small ships and simple weapons. Even now, in the middle of a major battle, nobody was paying attention to the 12 human vessels scattered throughout the Kepler system. "All human ships, This is Captain Kim. Execute Phoenix Protocol. Authorization code Alpha 77. Throughout the system, the human ship suddenly came alive. Engineer Lim activated the modified power systems that had been hidden for months. Energy readings that had appeared minimal suddenly spiked to levels that rivaled the largest alien warships. Dr. Kang, activate the sensor network. Full tactical mode. Network active, Captain. All pirate ships are now visible on our displays, including the ones using stealth technology. The primitive sensor buoys that the humans had been deploying revealed their true purpose. Instead of simple scanning devices, they were sophisticated jamming and targeting systems that could blind enemy sensors while providing perfect battlefield awareness to human forces. Engineer O, begin electronic warfare operations. Beginning now, Captain. Pirate communication systems are being disrupted. Their coordination is breaking down. Suddenly, the pirate ships found themselves unable to communicate with each other. Their sensors showed false targets while missing real threats. Ships that had been moving in perfect formation began crashing into asteroids or firing at empty space. Commander Bay, take your squadron and begin attack runs. Focus on the ships with unknown weapons first. Understood, Captain. Squadron 2 moving to attack position. The human ships that had looked slow and clumsy for months suddenly displayed incredible speed and maneuverability. They had been operating at a fraction of their true capability, hiding their real performance behind fake energy readings and modified engine signatures. Captain Yoon of the alien dreadnought is requesting an explanation, Bo Young reported. He wants to know why our ships are suddenly moving so fast. Tell him we are providing the reconnaissance support he requested, Ji-ho replied with a slight smile. Nothing more. Commander Bay's ships reached the first group of pirates and opened fire. The weapons that had appeared primitive and weak unleashed devastating focused energy beams that cut through pirate hulls like hot knives through butter. Direct hits on 3 pirate vessels, Bay reported. Their shields are not designed to handle our weapon frequencies, because they have never seen our real weapons before, Engineer Lim added from the engine room. The aliens think our guns are primitive, so the pirates designed their defenses against alien technology. Within minutes, 8 pirate ships were disabled or destroyed. The human vessels moved through the battle zone with surgical precision, targeting key enemy vessels while avoiding friendly fire. Dr. Kang, what is Captain Vextar's response to our attack? He is trying to reorganize his forces, but our jamming is too effective. Half his fleet cannot receive orders, and the other half is getting false information. The tide of battle shifted dramatically. Alien ships that had been losing badly suddenly found their enemies confused and disorganized. Pirate vessels that had been coordinating perfectly began making critical mistakes. Commander Cho is requesting tactical data, Bo Young reported. She wants to know how we are disrupting pirate communications. Provide her with targeting information for the shield generator, Ji-ho ordered. Tell her our sensors have identified a weakness in their defensive systems. Captain! Commander Nam looked amazed. The aliens are finally working together. The tactical data we provided is allowing them to coordinate their attacks. Ji-ho watched as Valorian and Zalithian ships began supporting each other for the first time in the battle. The information from human sensors allowed them to see pirate positions clearly and plan joint attacks. Engineer, oh, how many pirate ships are still operational? 23 vessels remaining, Captain. But their formation is completely broken. Vextar has lost control of his fleet. The journey back to Galactic Trade Station Nexus 7 was very different from the trip to the Kepler system. The same alien fleets that had dismissed the human ships as toys now maintained respectful distances from Captain Ji-ho Kim's small fleet. Commander, Sua Cho of the Valorian Navy had requested permission to dock alongside the human ships, an honor usually reserved for allies of equal military strength. Admiral Kothan of the Zalithians had sent formal thanks for the tactical assistance that saved dozens of his vessels. Even the mysterious Korvani had taken notice, with Elder Morath sending a message stating that The humans have proven themselves, worthy of further observation. Dr. Mina Park stood beside Captain Jiho on the bridge, watching the massive alien vessels through the view screen. I still cannot believe how quickly everything changed. 3 hours ago, they thought we were helpless. Now they are treating us like a major military power. Fear and respect often look the same from a distance, Jiho replied thoughtfully. The question is whether they have learned the right lessons from what happened. Lieutenant Boyoung Jang looked up from her communication station. Captain, we are receiving dozens of requests for meetings. Every major species wants to discuss enhanced cooperation with humanity. Engineer Daeho Lee entered the bridge carrying a datapad filled with technical specifications. Sir, the aliens are also asking detailed questions about our technology. They want to know how our sensors worked so effectively and why our weapons were able to penetrate pirate defenses so easily. What did you tell them? Jiho asked. That human engineering focuses on efficiency and adaptability, Daeho replied with a slight smile. The same thing we have been saying for months. They just never listened before. Dr. Sumin Kang's voice came through the communicator from her ship. Captain, I am analyzing the battle recordings. The aliens are starting to understand how much intelligence we gathered during the fight. They realize we knew everything about both sides' capabilities. Good. Let them think about the implications of that. When the fleets reached Nexus 7, the reception was unlike anything the humans had experienced. The same docking bays that had once been reserved for minimal threat species were now cleared for the human vessels. Station security provided escort, honors usually given to visiting dignitaries. Ambassador Thexam Moore was waiting in the main reception area, along with representatives from every major species in the galactic community. The same Valorian who had mocked human ships as toys now approached Captain Jiho with obvious respect and caution. Captain Kim, Thexmore said, his forearms spread in a formal greeting gesture. The Valorian military owes humanity a debt of gratitude. Your tactical assistance saved many lives in the Kepler system. We were glad to help, Jiho replied politely. The pirates were a threat to all peaceful species. Indeed. Thexmore's yellow eyes studied the human captain carefully, though I must admit, your fleet's performance was unexpected. Our intelligence reports suggested that human technology was centuries behind galactic standards. Dr. Park stepped forward. As we mentioned before, human engineering prioritizes practical solutions over impressive appearances. We prefer to build ships that can handle many different situations effectively. Yes, you did mention that, the ambassador replied slowly. At the time, I thought you were making excuses for primitive technology. I now realize that we may have misunderstood your approach to starship design. Admiral Cawthon approached the group, his silver uniform gleaming under the station lights. Captain Kim, my analysts are still trying to understand how your sensor network functioned. The coordination between your ships was unlike anything we have seen before. Human military doctrine emphasizes teamwork and information sharing, Jiho explained. Individual ship capability matters less than how well the fleet works together. A philosophy that served you well against Captain Vextar, Elder Morath observed, floating over in his golden chair. The pirate commander expected to face 12 separate vessels. Instead, he encountered a single coordinated force that functioned as one unit. Chairman Nexith of the Galactic Council joined the conversation. Captain, the Council has been discussing humanity's military performance. We are prepared to offer significant upgrades to your species' trading status and membership level. What kind of upgrades? Dr. Park asked with interest. Full membership in the Galactic Defense Alliance, Chairman Nexith replied. Access to advanced technology exchanges, priority docking rights at all major stations, and a request for human assistance in training joint fleet operations. Thexmore added, the Valorian Navy would be honored to conduct joint exercises with human forces. We are particularly interested in learning your coordination techniques. Admiral Cawthon nodded agreement. Zilithian commanders have much to learn from human tactical approaches. Perhaps we could arrange technology-sharing agreements? Captain. Jiho listened to the offers with the same calm expression he had maintained throughout their months of being dismissed and mocked. These are generous proposals. However, I should point out that you have only seen a small demonstration of human capabilities. The alien representatives exchanged glances. Elder Morath leaned forward in his chair. What do you mean, Captain? The ships you saw in the Kepler system represent one small fleet from one human military organization, Jiho explained. Earth has many such fleets, along with planetary defense forces, deep space exploration vessels, and specialized combat units you have never encountered. Engineer Deho stepped closer to the group. The 12 ships that impressed you so much? They are considered standard reconnaissance vessels in the human fleet. We have much larger and more capable ships for serious military operations. Reconnaissance vessels? Commander Cho had been listening from nearby and now approached with obvious concern. You mean those were not your primary warships? Of course not, Dr. Park replied. We sent a scouting force to establish diplomatic relations and assess galactic military capabilities. Our main battle fleets remain near Earth, protecting our home system. The silence that followed this revelation was profound. Every alien representative was processing the implications of what they had just heard. Ambassador Thexmore was the first to speak. Captain, are you saying that humanity has been conducting intelligence-gathering operations during these past months? We prefer to call it getting to know our new neighbors, Jiho replied diplomatically. It seemed wise to understand galactic politics and military capabilities before revealing our true strength. Admiral Kothan looked pale. The sensor network you deployed in the Kepler system, how long have you been monitoring galactic communications? Only during the battle, Dr. Kang's voice came through Jiho's communicator. Though we did record everything, for later analysis, Chairman Nexeth cleared his throat nervously. Captain, the Council would very much like to discuss formal diplomatic relations with Earth's government. Perhaps we could arrange for a proper ambassador exchange? That might be possible, Jiho agreed, though I should warn you that Earth's diplomatic protocols are quite different from what you may expect. Different how? Elder Morath asked. Engineer Deho smiled. Humans prefer honest communication over political games. We value practical results more than impressive ceremonies, and we tend to judge species by their actions rather than their reputation. Also, Dr. Park added, humans have long memories. We remember both kindness and insults for a very long time. The alien representatives shifted uncomfortably as they recalled their treatment of the human delegation over the past months. Captain, Thexmore said carefully, I hope you understand that our initial reactions were based on incomplete information. We meant no disrespect to humanity. Of course, Jiho replied graciously. First impressions are often wrong. That is why humans prefer to observe and learn before making important decisions. Lieutenant Boyung approached the group with a message. Pad. Captain, we are receiving a priority communication from Earth Command. Admiral Chen wants a full report on galactic military capabilities and political structures. Tell the Admiral that we have comprehensive data on 17 major species, 43 minor governments, and 12 different military technologies, Jiho replied. Also inform her that several galactic powers have expressed interest in formal, diplomatic relations. The alien representatives listened to this exchange with growing amazement. They were beginning to understand that humanity's approach to galactic contact had been far more systematic and thorough than anyone had realized. Chairman Nexeth spoke quietly to his advisors, then turned back to Captain Jiho. Captain, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I would like to formally apologize for any misunderstandings during your initial diplomatic contacts. We now recognize that humanity brings valuable capabilities to the galactic community. Apology accepted, Jiho replied, though I should mention that Earth's government will be very interested in establishing trade agreements that benefit all parties equally. Of course, the chairman agreed quickly. Equal partnerships based on mutual respect and shared benefits. As the meeting concluded, the alien representatives departed with many new concerns and much to discuss with their governments.